Congratulations, everyone! Today, I'm going back to my usual programming with issue number 2 of my DC project. Now, without further ado, let's get into issue number 2 for Batman. Narrator. Meanwhile, at the Wayne Manor, during the interviews, Alfred is sipping Southern-style sweet tea while snooping around dating sites to direct messages. Alfred. Andrea and that Pamela girl seem like they would be good matches for him. A loud thud sounds, making the tea in his hand shake. Alfred sighed, taking a big gulp of the tea before setting it down and looking up at the cave ceiling. Alfred then shouts, "Damn it, Krypto! No one interrupts tea time! I know you can hear me!" Alfred then goes up to the main house, going into a closet and pushing a button with the Superman symbol on it, before pulling out a leash, made specifically for Krypto. He then walked over to a door with a sign that said "Dog Training, Do Not Enter," that had scratches on the door and around it, and a very, very chewed down knob. Alfred then lets out an exasperated sigh. Ugh! Alfred. That's the third doorknob this month. Alfred then stepped in and all the dogs in there were barking, growling. Krypto was flying around trying to open a kennel door, whining. Krypto himself, while most of the time carries the appearance in most media, he carries the appearance of a typical white. I thought, you know what, that kind of boring and basic by this point. So, this time around, he has the appearance of a gray hair pit bull. Of a short American gray. Alfred. Again? Alfred walks over to Krypto. You can't keep doing this. Krypto then lets out an angry growl. Alfred stops in his tracks and puts on the most neutral and scary looking face you could imagine. Zorro, freeze. Full litter in the sizable kennel was 4 dogs. All of them line up at the kennel door looking at Krypto, which these dogs are actually puppies, around 6 months old. They all look like him. They use freezing breath, which they aren't able to use without howling, which thus freezes Krypto mid-flight and falls to the floor with a loud thud as Alfred puts the leash on Krypto. Alfred then smirks, standing over Krypto. Krypto then gets up, shaking off the ice, and lifts his head, sniffing around like he smelled something, then charged, dragging Alfred behind him. Alfred, not again! As he gets dragged by Krypto. Krypto then breaks through a solid door where older dogs are kept with dog doors leading to the outside, and Alfred finally manages to stop Krypto just before he breaks a door labeled Heat Room. Alfred, no, bad Krypto! I ain't gonna let you get another bitch pregnant. Nuh-uh, no way, mister. Krypto doesn't listen. He just whines with a one-track mind and keeps trying to go for the door. Alfred is just wrestling with Krypto, trying to keep him from running in using the leash. Don't you make me get the kryptonite! That got Krypto to stop and sit, looking at Alfred. Alfred, that's right. Now come on, let's get you to your kennel while we wait for Master Zor-El to pick you up. He then walks Krypto to the Batcave, sending Bruce a text, putting Krypto in the specialized kennel with toys inside it, and made a bed special for him. Alfred, geez, dude, you're lucky you look like one of the Wayne Bull's ancestors. Otherwise, you'd be in deep shit. Alfred then goes back to snooping with his now cold sweet tea. Narrator. Wow. Just wow. Anyway, after Clark picks up Krypto, Bruce came home and went back to the drawing board of the crime similar to Jason Todd's disappearance. Alfred, you're going to have to sleep soon, sir. I can stay up for at least 2 more nights, Alfred. I'm so close to figuring this out, I can feel it. Alfred, sir, you're about as close as you were a week ago. Bruce. Don't you have plans tonight, Alfred? Alfred, no, sir. Bruce heaves a heavy sigh. Could you please get the training room ready in that case? Alfred, yes, sir. He leaves. Bruce sits there for a moment, and while staring at the Bat computer's screen, brainstorming on what piece of the puzzle he could possibly be missing. Maybe I should focus on something else for a little while. He then opens up work files for kids that are possible candidates for his foster care system, and scrolls through a bunch of files with the photos of the kids, along with a brief description of the kid. Pauses on one, with a picture of a little girl with brown hair, blue eyes, white skin that had a bit of a tan tint to it. Wasn't any more than 5 years old when the picture was taken, with severe dark circles under her eyes. She didn't look very happy, and in the photo she was wearing what looked to be some kind of hospital gown. Her file said that she was admitted to the Arkham Asylum when she was 4. This was a direct quote from her parents, saying no little girl should be able to look inside anyone's soul. She is not normal, and she is not wanted. Bruce. Poor girl. Just then, a screen notification popped up saying patrol time, and he exited out of the files and gets in his suit, putting on a mask piece, kind of like the face shield and bike helmet, so he doesn't eat bugs while riding. Then he hops on his motorbike and rides out to the city of Gotham and patrols the area. While out, we get a close-up view of Wayne's industrial office building, which, while using modern architecture, of course, seems to have various little areas as it goes up for outside for employees to get fresh air at. Like little, what's the word I'm looking for? Balconies. The building itself seems to have balconies scattered throughout the floors, allowing employees fresh air, with alternating floors of glass with clearly have glass on it. The other seems to have pop art, have colorful tiles, and both seem to alternate on the levels going up to the top. As we go through his patrol, we get glimpses of what Gotham looks like. We go past the city center where there's a dignified statue of Hippolyta clad in her armor, with a spear in one hand and a bow in the other, with a shield on her back, looking where the sun rises in Gotham, the last bit of sunlight fading behind her, with the moon on the tip of her spear. The moon at a quarter phase. Now, during the day, the statue of Hippolyta's spear is actually used as a flagpole to hold. He rides his bike past a factory with signs of a fire. The roof had already collapsed, with many broken windows. The one thing standing undisturbed despite the scorch marks is the smokestack. He stopped in an alleyway across the street from a building that seemed like it used to be an old warehouse, but it had a big neon sign on it, with a hyena laying on a couch, looking like it was laughing, with giant words under it labeling it the Hyena Lounge. The lights and vague silhouettes shining through the windows with small square panes. Seems like people inside it were dancing, the square pane being the proper size and shape to distort the views inside, making the silhouettes look fairly odd. Batman. Seems like it's punk rock night in the lounge. He put up his kickstand on his bike, and he just sits on his bike, resting, running his hand along his mask, deep in thought. The lights shouldn't look like streaks. Alfred's right. I should go to bed when I'm done with patrol. He then looks around the alleyway, watching for any activity, suspicious or otherwise, and he catches a figure moving in the corner of his eye from behind him in the alleyway. He pushed a button on his bike before getting off of it and walking away from it to investigate, lifting the mouthguard he had on his face, squared up ready for a fight if it came to that. When he approached the place he saw the figure, he found that no one was there. He then sighed, lowering his hands, muttering to himself, "I must be losing it." He then turns around to find a woman who stood with her head level to his chest, her hair down in big curls over her shoulders, wearing a strapless leopard print crop top with a crimson red jacket with matching skirt and nails decorated with stripes, looking at his bike. She looks at him and smiles with lipstick to match the jacket. Woman: "Hello there." Batman, in his mind, thinks, "Every time I park at the Hyena Lounge." He then walks toward the woman by his bike, not saying a word, keeping his face neutral. Woman: "Nice bike you have here." Batman: He walked over to his bike, making sure the bike itself was between the two of them. His gaze focused on the bike and not the woman. Woman: "Makes me wonder what kind of man is under that helmet." She then reaches her hand out, running the edge of her nails along his jawline, hooking her finger under his mask. Batman then grabs her wrist, stopping her from going any further, taking a big breath and tensing up, restraining himself before looking at her. The way his mask is made, making it look like he was glaring at her, reflecting the fluorescent light of the sign across the street. "Refrain from touching my face, miss." Woman: "Celeste. My name is Celeste." He let go of her hand after making sure she wasn't hooked up to anything. The faint sound of a siren appears a short distance away. Batman: 3 blocks. Look, Celeste, I'm not looking for what you call a fun time. But if you don't want either of us to get caught, I will drive us both and drop you off at your home. Just tell me where. He hands her a helmet he pulled out of a compartment on the side of the bike. Celeste hears the sirens coming closer, shrugs, and takes the helmet, putting it on before sitting on the bike behind him. Batman: "Hold on tight." Celeste: "Okay." As she hangs onto him, he drives off into the night just before cop cars arrive a few buildings away from the Hyena Lounge. Celeste: "What makes you think we were gonna get caught?" Batman: "Your obviously seductive attitude, along with the tattoo on your ankle that's peeking out from your shoe. Every time I come over by that spot to rest for a minute, someone with a similar tattoo on their ankle comes by to seduce me for a price." Celeste: "Oh, well, you're rather chatty now, aren't you?" Batman: "Only when I want to be." They pass under a city light, and she gets a good, clear look at the Batman in front of her, driving them both. He senses her tense up. Batman: "Relax. Another thing I find you and those other girls have in common is that you're not doing this out of choice. More rather, you have been unable to make an honest living. I'm not gonna punish you for falling under unfortunate circumstances." Celeste: "Then what are you gonna do?" Batman: "First, tell me where you live so I can make sure you get home safely." They go under Gotham Bridge to avoid traffic, dodging rocks and debris from previous explosion, and that has yet to be cleaned up. And then? Batman: "Then I'll send you some money for your effort, along with a list of a few places accepting job applications." They hit a bump and Celeste almost falls off the bike. He reaches behind him, grabbing her by the arm and pulling her back onto the bike before dropping her hand. Batman: "Told you to hold on tight." Celeste: "Fine. I live on the corner of Greek and Roman Street in that apartment complex." Batman: "Thank you. Now duck." He ducked and Celeste ducked soon after, riding under a fallen sign. He parked at a stop sign in front of an apartment building, with old faded ad for Canning Company on the side impeded by the windows. Batman, we're here. Celeste then gets off the bike and hands him back the helmet. Batman, I expect it to be dropped in 3 days' time. No return address. Celeste, thank you, Bats. Can't believe you're actually real. Batman, good. And don't tell anyone I said a word to you. You'll become a target for police and other criminals. Have a safe night, and best of luck with your baby. Celeste, wait, how did you know about? She was interrupted by Batman driving off, and Celeste places her hand just below her stomach. Celeste then hears a voice and puts in an earpiece from a wire. As the next frame moves to see a silhouette in a dark room holding a smartphone to his ear. Voice. Well done, Celeste. That was certainly unexpected for the bat to appear, but not unfortunate either. Does this mean I won't have to worry about? Voice. You may do as you please until after the legacy is born. You will receive instructions when you're close to the due date. After all, what father doesn't want to see his child? End of issue 2. Well, hope everybody enjoyed that. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Comment your favorite superhero or what you look forward to with the new Superman movie coming out in the comments below if you made it this far. And don't forget to buy the book I wrote. In the meantime, I hope everybody has an excellent day. And until next time, may the brain rot consume you.